You're 31, and you're finally doing the math you should have done at 22. This isn't comfortable math. It's the kind you do late at night, staring at a spreadsheet, with that heavy feeling in your chest like there's a bill you forgot to pay. You're not just adding up money you spent in your 20s. You're counting time. Missed years. The growth that could have happened but didn't. You realize you didn't invest when you could have. You didn't build assets. You didn't take advantage of time and compounding. You've seen the examples before. Read the articles. The one about someone who started investing at 22, put in money for a few years, then stopped and still ends up ahead of someone who starts at 30 and invests consistently. You know it. And maybe you wish you didn't. Because knowing doesn't change the past, it just changes how the present feels. And now, you're not starting from zero. You're starting with awareness. Let's be honest. You didn't ruin your finances with one big mistake. You didn't lose everything. You didn't make one catastrophic decision. And that's exactly why it hurts more. The money disappeared slowly. Slightly more expensive rent. Restaurants that felt reasonable. A car you thought you could afford. Weekends that were fun but left nothing behind. Subscriptions you forgot about. Small daily conveniences. There was no single moment. Just many small choices. You earned money in your 20s. At first not much, then more again. But most of it went somewhere. Most likely, you barely invested. Maybe a small retirement account. A bit of savings. Or almost nothing at all. And now you're here. At 31. And you know it. The first thing you need to hear. This is fixable. Not easily. Not quickly. Not without change. But it is fixable. The system still works. It just demands more from you now. You'll need to contribute more. Be more disciplined. Be more intentional. But the mechanism still exists. It runs every day. And it accepts anyone who shows up. Something changes in your 30s. In your 20s, you understand money. In your 30s, you feel it. At 24, retirement feels abstract. Unreal. At 31, it doesn't. You start seeing real-life examples. Your parents' reality. Friends losing jobs. Unexpected expenses. You start asking, what would I do? And now, it's personal. That creates pressure. Don't run from that feeling. Use it. Fear can be fuel. And time can still be your opportunity. What starting in your 30s actually looks like. Imagine your situation. Some savings. Little or no investments. Some debt. Income that mostly disappears. You're not in crisis. But you're not building anything either. First step. Honesty. You sit down and calculate everything. Accounts. Debts. Expenses. Subscriptions. Not roughly. Exactly. It's uncomfortable. But it gives clarity. Then you make a few key decisions. Take control of your existing money. Move it somewhere visible and manageable. Start paying off debt. Consistently. Start investing. Even a small amount. But regularly. Not when you remember. Automatically. The amount feels small at first. That's not the point. The point is the habit. You're becoming someone who invests. The first year isn't about growth. It's about building a foundation. You reduce debt. Start investing. Build an emergency fund. It doesn't feel like success. But it is. When the debt is gone, something shifts. Money that used to leave now stays. And you redirect it. Not later. Immediately. Then comes acceleration. Your income grows. But your lifestyle doesn't. You hold the line. And send the difference into investments. That's hard. Because you can afford more. But choosing not to is where the change happens. A few years later, you have savings. You have investments. You have stability. You're not rich. But you're moving forward. And that matters. Then comes comparison. You see people who started earlier. They have more. That's real. But it's not your race. Your real competition is the version of you that does nothing. If you act, you're already ahead of that version. Here's the advantage of your 30s. You make better decisions. Not because you're smarter. Because you understand consequences. You take fewer reckless risks. Manage emotions better. Understand the cost of mistakes. That matters. Yes, you have less time. But you have more income. And more awareness. Your job is to use that. The next years require increasing your income, controlling expenses, protecting your self-emergency fund, insurance, etc. Patience. Especially patience. Because you'll want to speed things up. That's where many people fail. They chase shortcuts, and most shortcuts don't work. The real path is boring. But it works. If you stay consistent, in 10-15 years, you'll see results. Not perfect. But real. Stable. Yours. You won't get back the years you lost. That's true. But you can still build a future. That's also true. There are two paths. You understand all this. And do nothing. You start. Even now. Even small. Because today is the earliest moment you still have. This system doesn't ask how old you are, what you did before. It just works. Every day. And it accepts those who begin. You've already missed enough days. The only question is, will you start tomorrow? Or will tomorrow look exactly like today? Because that's how it happens. Not in one big decision, but in quiet repetition. Days that feel the same. Weeks that pass unnoticed. Months that disappear into routine. And suddenly, years are gone again. Starting doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. One transfer. One decision. One moment where you choose differently than before. You don't need to fix everything at once. You just need to break the pattern of doing nothing. Momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from action repeated often enough that it becomes automatic. And once it becomes automatic, everything changes. Not instantly. Not dramatically. But permanently. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't wait to feel ready. Start with what you have. Start where you are. And don't stop this time. Consistency will feel boring before it feels powerful. Keep going anyway. The results won't show up immediately, but they are building quietly in the background. One day you'll look back and realize this was the moment everything started to change.